Hello and welcome to Fearless DIY Music. My name is Tristan Lass, and today I want to talk about setting the relief on your guitar or bass's neck. Any instrument that has frets and a truss rod, basically. Acoustic guitars this applies to as well. The reason I feel compelled to make this brief video showing you the basic way to do this, or the way to do this, is that in some of my feeds I've been coming across these really expensive specialty tools to, quote unquote, set your neck relief perfectly. And they have it's like a big bar with like a big gauge on it, and then you bounce it on the guitar and then it reads your neck tension and all this stuff. And I just kept looking at it and going, that's completely unnecessary. And so, I'm not going to name products, or I don't want to throw these people who invented it under the bus, but I also want to just inform everybody who sees this video that you don't need that. There are some basic principles of physics that are just, inherent to the instrument that make it super easy to set the neck relief. A lot of people are scared of truss rod adjustments or messing with the wrench and getting in there and adjusting their necks. Adjusting necks is part of owning a guitar. You should just get used to it. And it's nothing to be frightened of. I mean, it's not like you're gonna sit there, and at least I would hope not, only if you're just gonna sit there and turn it until it breaks or just do something wild with it. Most truss rod adjustments are just a quarter turn to a half turn, maybe a full turn total if your guitar is truly out of whack. So I just want to go over the basics of setting your neck relief on your guitar. Now, also right up front, this is a matter of preference. If you prefer to have your action a little bit higher, then you would probably like to have your relief, your truss rod be looser so that the neck has more of a bow in it, so the strings ride a little higher over the frets. If you like your action super low, you may want to have your back bend, like tightening the truss rod. You may want that a lot flatter than most people do because you want that buttery action. And that's what I'm after. So I'm just gonna go ahead and grab my trusty custom telly here and go over how you would go about doing these adjustments. Now, the first thing to do is to grab the one tool you need, your truss rod wrench or a screwdriver if your adjustment is down here and it's an old school style neck where you have to actually remove the neck from the guitar to get to the adjustment screw. And if you have to do that, it's usually on a bolt-on neck guitar like this. It's usually a Fender style guitar. And what you do is you just put a capo right here to hold your strings in place, loosen up your strings a little bit, and then just take the neck off, leaving the strings on. The capo will hold the strings in place. That way you don't have to go through the whole hassle of having to take all the strings off and then put them back on. Just put the capo there, pop the neck off, and you can make your adjustments. All right, most guitars though, these days and throughout history, have some sort of adjuster that is up here at the headstock. And then more modern guitars by some builders do have an adjustment wheel down here. Those are super nice and easy to use. All the things that I'm going to be talking about are applicable to all truss rods everywhere. So the only tool you should need, though, back to my point, should be whatever it is that you need to adjust your truss rod. All right, and on this guitar we have a bullet truss rod, Fender style, kind of a 70s thing, and I have the proper Allen key for that. All right, balance that on my knee and hopefully it won't fall. The way that I check my neck relief is very simple. I fret at the first fret, put my thumb on the 12th fret on the low E, and then I press right here in between, the 5th and 7th fret on the 6th fret, and I look and I see how much space there is between the string and the fret right there on the 5th or 6th fret. And right now I'm seeing I barely have to press it to get it to have contact with the fret. There's a little bit of space, a tiny amount of space, but not much. And that is my gold standard. I want to see the string move to contact the fret, but barely. And if the string is already contacting the fret when I do this, that means I need to loosen my truss rod because I'm probably going to start getting some buzzing up here in this area. If the string is really high off the fret, then I know I want to tighten up the truss rod in order to bring the string closer to the frets. How do we go about doing that? It's really quite simple. To tighten a truss rod, let's say that we looked and there's a big gap in between our string and our fret. You want to tighten it. And to tighten the truss rod, you just turn clockwise. And conversely, if you're getting some buzzing between your first and third frets, the most common thing is that you need to add relief to the neck by loosening the truss rod. And when you loosen it, you go counterclockwise. This applies to the heel, the top, wherever your truss rod is. It is clockwise to tighten, counterclockwise to loosen. And that's really all there is to it. There's no, there's no crazy mojo science or any of that kind of stuff you need to worry about. And just to, kind of complete my thoughts here. The thing is that, of course, the neck of the guitar is made of wood or some other material that does have give to it. So it will alter over time, given humidity, temperature, how you like your guitar set up. However, the physics of the string off the bridge to the nut, you cannot overcome that. That is a straight line. That is a dead straight line, no matter how you slice it. That is your gauge. That string tension from the bridge to the nut is a dead flat line. And it will tell you all you need to know about the bow in your neck. You don't need any other tool besides that string at tension to tell you exactly where your neck is resting. So, just a quick recap. If your strings are too high off the fingerboard, your action feels uncomfortable, you probably need to tighten your truss rod by turning it clockwise a quarter turn. If that doesn't do it, another quarter turn until you get it set the way you like it. Like I said, when I do my fretting test here, I want to see that string not contact the fret, but just barely above it. And then, if you're getting a lot of buzzing and it feels like you're just getting all this noise, and it happens maybe overnight even if there's a sudden humidity or temperature shift, then you probably need to loosen your truss rod by turning it counterclockwise, and that'll raise your strings a little bit off the frets and add a little bow to your neck. You'll be back in business. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching. Please hit subscribe on your way out. Likes and shares are greatly appreciated. And in the comment section, has anybody bought like a crazy tool to do these things? Or do you have opinions about that? Or is there a way that you prefer to use to set the relief on your neck? This is the way I've always done it. I've done it to hundreds, if not thousands of instruments. It's never failed me. It's very simple. Anybody can do it, and I encourage you all to do so. All right, you take care. We'll see you next time, and hit subscribe.